Hi, y'all. We are back again. It's another Thursday and it's another conversation. And today I have with me Mirella Caravan. Mirella and her husband, they have a real estate company. It's called Caravan Real Estate. They're part of the Remax Specialty Group. And their life is centered around marriage, family, and home. And their goal is to help families alleviate the stress associated with buying or selling and having a easy transition between homes or into their new home. So Mirella, thank you for joining, and I'll give you some time to talk more about you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've been a realtor now for 5 years. Time definitely flies by. My husband's been doing it for a little bit over 10. And I love what I do. I just, there's that gratification of literally helping, serving people from literally start to finish and beyond. I'm very client centric and just really want the best financial, help my clients make the best financial decision for their family and their home.
Yeah. And today, you and I are talking about something very important. I think we're talking about the power of follow up. And this is relevant to any business, I feel, because I've listened to some stats and they say only 2% of potential clients actually purchase on the first contact. And it tends to want 8 to 12 contacts before there's a buy decision. So, Mirella, what do you think? What's your thought about follow up, and what does it mean to you?
Oh my gosh, follow up. Number one, I absolutely love following up. I'm very, like I mentioned, client centric, and you have to follow up in order to build those relationships. And I truly feel that fortune is in the follow up. We've heard that cliche so many times, and it is something that you've got to do consistently, whether you are selling a product or perhaps, providing a service to your customers or to your clients. It is literally crucial, I think, to any business.
For sure, especially if 98% of persons that you reach out to don't actually buy on the first point of contact. So, yes, the fortune is definitely in the follow up. And you mentioned consistency. What does that mean? How important is being consistent with your follow up? And how do you establish that in your process?
Yeah, so your goal is to top of mind with anyone. So for me, obviously, when they're thinking of a realtor, I want them to think of me, and the way that I do that is by consistently following up with clients, but also my referral partners, my business partners as well. And
Yeah.
those are, people that I actually network with. I very rarely go to a networking event and then never go back. So I try to go to my core networking events every single month so I could see the people that I've known for the last 5 years, let's say, and always meeting new people. And when I do meet those new people, I want to establish that relationship with them. And then they come into my database. And what happens with my database now, I do have a CRM. So my CRM is amazing, where it basically gives me a little reminder of when I should be following up with
Mm.
a person. And this can be somebody who I've met at a networking event. It could be a friend. It could be somebody that I've door knocked and cold called, and I've spoken to them at their doorstep for 5-10 minutes, and then I've included them into my database. So for me, there's certain people that I may follow up, on a monthly basis, or
Mm.
because I see them at networking events. And then there's others where I could follow up like every 3 to 4 months. But
Okay.
consistency is definitely key.
Yes, it is key. And the thing is, we're aiming to build long-term relationships, and that requires continuous touch points. And you mentioned who you follow up with. You mentioned referral partners, right? And we also, there are three groups, I think: your potential clients, your existing clients, plus your referral partners. Those three groups are key for follow up. And the benefit, of course, is to stay top of mind, as you mentioned. So we're always there. If the need is there, they'll think of us first, right? So,
Exactly.
so aside from the CRM that you use, what other tools? Some people, I think, they might not be at the scale that they need a CRM, but they can use maybe an Excel template, right? Aside from a CRM, are there any other methods you use to connect with your clients?
So when I first started, obviously I didn't have a CRM either. I
Mm,
started off with an Excel spreadsheet. And a funny story is I got hacked. My Facebook account
gosh.
and my Instagram account, but literally got hacked, not cloned, like it was completely deleted.
Mm,
And thank goodness, because at the time I was building those relationships during COVID. And we all know what happened during COVID. Everything shut down. So I wanted to have these Zoom calls so I can build my relationships with these people that I was meeting online. And always remember that we're actually renting social media. We're
yeah.
renting the names that we've got on social media. So what I did was I would, ask for the Zoom call on Messenger, and then I would, use my telephone, which is always with me, to say to them, hey, I absolutely loved our Zoom call that we had. I'd love to send you a personal note. Can you provide me with your, home address? And that's
Mm,
how I developed my database, is all through those Zoom calls and by obtaining their addresses and then later obtaining their email addresses. And once I did that, that's when my Facebook got hacked. So I was, thank goodness I had it in an Excel spreadsheet. So that's absolutely huge. But there's so many different ways of keeping a log of everybody that you meet, whether it's a business
mm,
card or whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, and schedule it. Schedule who you are going to connect with this
mm,
month,
yeah.
and make a plan. And there's different ways of connecting too. Whether we are going to use social media. I love doing videos through Facebook Messenger. I love doing, handwritten notes. Like I've got them all always ready, to write to people, postcards in the mail. So there's different ways of connecting with people and following up.
Yes, thank you for sharing all of that. And I'll just highlight a few of the points that you mentioned. When you are reaching out, you're wanting to get some information from the persons you connect with, their, of course, their telephone number, email addresses, because this opens up the avenues for you to keep in touch with them, whether it's a physical card that you mail out, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message. It allows you that flexibility and variety to reach out to them. And you mentioned two other things that I definitely want to highlight to those who are listening, right? Track it, right? Right? We're in business, and part of being in business is understanding what we're doing. We have our KPIs that we need to see that we are doing the actions that we have to take in order to bring revenue into our business. So definitely track it and schedule it, right? So thank you for mentioning those points. Have you noticed any difference in your approach? Because I guess maybe this relationship building might have evolved over time, or maybe you have other individuals in the same field that you could maybe offer a comparison to a transactional approach versus a relationship building approach. And I'm sure we can think of the different fallouts if we put our minds to it. But do you have any stories that you could share?
Yeah, so I love my telephone. right? I pick it up on a daily basis. I make those calls. I usually use the Ford method. So I talk about
Mhm.
family, occupation, recreation, and then their dreams. And I also jot that down. So if somebody just got a new dog, right,
Mhm.
which I know a friend of mine just actually did, I'm going to remember that and I'm going to say,
Mhm.
hey, how is Felix doing? And I'm going to jot that down so that, 3 months from now, when I actually have to call this person back, I'm going to say, hey, how are the first 3 months of having, your puppy? How's it going? This, that, and the other. So, um, I find that by asking questions, about getting to know the person,
Mhm.
I don't I rarely, if ever, will I just give somebody a call and say, "Hey, Sue, do you wanna sell your house?" Or, "Hey, Sue, are you looking to buy your house?" Right? It's more of like, "Hey, Sue, I saw that it's, really gorgeous weather these next few days. Are you doing anything for the weekend that's exciting?" You know, something like that, because they know exactly what I do, right? So
Yeah.
your whole point is that you wanna, again, stay top of mind so that when they are looking for that realtor, that they are, gonna be calling me, right? So or,
Yeah.
and that goes, again, with any profession.
Yeah, so for sure. And I can also relate it to my profession. When somebody gets an insurance policy from me to protect their family or their business, it's not a one and done, right? I have to keep in touch with them because your life will change. And as a result, their needs will change, right? And I find that people tend to forget even what they have. So it's just to keep them aware too of what they have, make sure they know how they need to tweak it, reevaluate their needs as life goes along. I'm not just in the business for the sale, as you mentioned. I'm not just knocking to say, um, do you need insurance? I'm wanting to find out what your goals are, your needs are. What's your family situation, your business situation? So I'm actually addressing the need and addressing it properly, right? And it's not a one and done, right? Like for you,
Mhm.
I'm sure people buy and sell homes all the time. If you don't do that follow up, you'll miss the second sale, right? Or the second chance to help them get into a new home or a different home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we truly feel that we are an extension to their family. So we start literally from the beginning, during the whole process, closing date. But it doesn't end
Mhm.
there, right? Whether we're sending out a birthday card or a home anniversary, card, or even just that telephone call to say, hey, how's it going? How are things going? How are
Mhm.
you adjusting, to your new home, or what have you, right? So there's so many different things that you can talk about when you end up following up with your clients or even just your friends.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, even I know sometimes we might get discouraged because we're doing our efforts to build our business and we might not get the response that we want. We might get no's, right? But even those persons who maybe didn't say a yes to us initially, we need to keep following up with them. For me, it means a life that's unprotected, right? And I understand the consequences of that. And sometimes it's just them wanting to think, wanting to learn more, right? And we are there to serve that purpose, right? So we have to give value with the follow up. So it's not just chasing the sale, it's building a relationship, it's providing value. And eventually, we'll become partners with helping them build their lives, right?
Exactly, exactly. And we do value through, whether it's through our social media. I've got people that I send a monthly newsletter to, so it's a physical, it's being mailed to them.
Mhm.
And then I also have my monthly e-newsletter that gets emailed to people within
Mhm.
my database as well. So that's another, touch point where our clients get to see us.
Yeah. And there's also, yes, they know we're in business, right? So they ultimately know that us providing the opportunity for a sale is the ultimate goal, right? But it doesn't need to feel salesy, right? We need to be genuine in our approach. We need to actually listen to what they want, right? And add value. What other tips could you offer to someone to ensure that their follow-up efforts doesn't feel salesy?
Well, that's where I come in with that forward, right? How I mentioned
Mm,
this, this earlier. I talk about their family,
mm,
right? How are they doing? I talk about work, their occupation. I talk
mm,
about recreational. What did you do over the summer? Did you travel anywhere? Or what
mm,
are you planning on doing this weekend, right? Um, and then I talk about their dreams. So you went to Buffalo to go shopping. Oh, okay. So if you had to go anywhere else in the States, what would be your dream vacation? If they're talking about, vacation. So there's these questions that you can ask, um, where you are following up because it's a touch point, but you are not being salesy because you genuinely really want to know about the person that you're following up with.
yeah. And I love that you said that because being genuine, listen, and it is about them, right? About them. And we want to bring value to their lives. We want to ensure that the dreams that they share with us, we are enablers of those dreams, right? And it's an ongoing conversation, right? And we definitely need to be patient because, as we said before, the process might be a month, 2 months, 3 months, or even years. But what we are doing with follow up is telling them that you can trust us to be with you for that journey. Would you
It's
agree?
like 100%, right? Rome wasn't built in a day,
Yeah.
right? We all know that, and there is a lot of patience that you definitely need. I think with any type of business, but you just can't give up, right? I can't, think that. If I door knock on somebody and, oh, I've been here forever, I'm an original owner, I'm never going to move. Well, hey, you know what? You never really know what's going to happen, a
Yeah.
year from now, 2 years from now. You may have different health circumstances or what have you. And it's my job to stay in touch with this person that I've met, that I am willing to build that long lasting relationship with,
Mhm.
that should their circumstances change, again, that they'll think of me, when they need to buy or sell, right? So yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing the gems that you've offered us. We've touched on a number of things. What does follow up look like? The different things we can incorporate into our process because it's part of our process that we can keep in touch with our clients and provide them value on an ongoing basis, right? And Mirella, is there like a parting tip that you can offer to anyone listening, like a key takeaway that you'd want them to remember, if nothing else?
Schedule, because prospecting is absolutely huge, and track it. So once you've obviously spoken to somebody, you need to track that first time, and then when will you track or give that person a call the next time. So it's schedule and then track it.
All right, so schedule and track it. Act as if you are running a business because you are, right? And another takeaway from my end is just remember it is a journey. When you are offering your services, it's not a one and done, it's a journey. And the value is maintaining those relationships and ensuring that you're building that trust with that client, that you are top of mind, right? And thank you so much for joining me, Marilla. The value you've offered is awesome. And could you tell individuals how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. My telephone number is 416 697 0423. You could reach me at Mirella at canavanrealestategroup.ca, Instagram at Mirella Canavan _realtor, and then Facebook under Mirella Canavan. Yeah, I'd love to be able to connect with more people. Again, it's all about building those relationships.
Yes, so you've heard from Mirella. If you want to invite her into your family, you can reach out to her through those various avenues. And for me, I'm at info@moneymattersca.com, 647-951-6905. I'm here to help as well. Thank you so much for listening, and reach out if you have any questions or need our help. Thank you.
Bye.